There are 7 public speaking mistakes that you might be making. Today I'm going to show you what they are and, more importantly, how to avoid them. My name's Kyle Murter. I help people speak with more confidence and impact, and do subscribe to this channel if you want to enhance your speaking, because every week I'm sharing lots of useful tips. Okay, the first big mistake people make is not having a clear message. If you do not know exactly what you are trying to say, then the audience is going to have no idea what you're trying to say. It's imperative that you get clear on what your point is, on what you're trying to get across. Because the reality is the audience are not going to remember everything from your presentation. So you've got to decide what part you want them to remember. And that's where your message comes in. So a great way to identify your message is to ask yourself this question. What is the one idea I want my audience to leave with? Once you've got clear on that message, you can literally make sure that the opening, the middle, and the end of your presentation is supporting and promoting that key message. Mistake number 2, using scripts. Now, I can understand why writing out your entire speech or presentation might seem like a good idea. But here's the problem. When you start practicing, when you start trying to memorize your script, you're going to find that it is incredibly difficult to internalize every single word. And what I've seen happen many times from people who use scripts is that they get one word wrong in their presentation. And then that leads to them getting more words wrong, and then more things wrong, and then emming, and then umming, and then sweating, and then going red, and then falling apart. And we don't want that. Instead of using a script, think about using some short bullet points. Maybe if your presentation has 5 points, you have 5 bullet points. And as you look at each of these points, it triggers an idea that you need to speak about in your presentation. This will take the pressure off you having to get every word correct, and will help you sound a little bit more natural and conversational, as you're not regurgitating something that you crafted before. Mistake 3, practicing in your head. So many people do this, and it literally sets you up to fail. Because how things sound in your head is very different from how they sound out loud. And therefore, people end up getting shocked by the sound of their own voice. Things don't sound how they hoped they would sound. Sometimes they don't make sense the way they hoped they would make sense, and they fall apart while presenting. Avoid this nightmare by practicing how you will perform. What that simply means is replicating the environment you will be presenting in as much as possible. So if you're going to be in a room where people are sitting down in front of you, stand up while practicing, pretend they're there in front of you, and out loud run through your presentation. If your presentation's online, sit down at your laptop, plug in your camera, open up Teams or Zoom, and practice speaking to the camera like you will on the day. Number 4, not arriving early. It is so frustrating for an audience when the speaker is trying to set up their PowerPoint, trying to get everything in place when they should have actually started their presentation. Don't be that guy. Instead, get there early. Make sure all your tech's set up. Make sure everything is working. Interact with your audience beforehand. Get to know them a little bit, and then start on time. If you want to put the audience against you, be late in your presentation. If you want to get them on side, start on time and even finish early. Number 5, underselling and apologizing. Tell me in the comments if you've seen this before. So I don't present very often, so go easy on me. This probably won't be very good. So sorry about that in advance. By starting like that, you are literally lowering the expectations of the audience so much that they've already switched off before you even got started. It doesn't make people feel sorry for you. It doesn't get the audience on your side. It just makes you look unprepared and nervous. So instead, drop the underselling and the apologies and go in with a confident opening. Make the expectations of the audience go up, because you're getting them intrigued, you're getting them engaged, and ultimately you're setting yourself up for a successful presentation. Number 6, hiding behind the slides. I think we all know the guy who has 87 slides in their presentation. Most audiences are not very impressed by a PowerPoint. In fact, most PowerPoints switch audiences off and put them in a coma. And what makes things even worse is when the speaker hides behind the PowerPoint and allows the PowerPoint to take center stage. Listen to this carefully. The slideshow is the sideshow. You will always be more engaging, more compelling, and more relatable than a still static PowerPoint slide. So don't hide behind that slide. Instead, take center stage. Use the PowerPoint when you need to. I'll emphasize, when you need to, but not all the time as a crutch. Number 7. This is something 90% of speakers get wrong. Ending on a Q&A. You must understand, the end of your presentation is the most important part. Literally, what is said or felt last will last with the audience. And this is why ending on a Q&A is a problem. Because if you get a crap, awful question at the very end of your Q&A, well, that's the feeling, that's the thing everyone walks away and remembers. And it makes your presentation not seem as good as it was. So you always want to protect your ending. You want to preserve it and make sure you control what is said last. So what I advise you do is have your Q&A, okay, just before the end of your presentation, and then you can wrap it up for the final 2 minutes. That way you are in full control of your ending. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful, and check out this video if you want to learn how to structure your presentation from start to finish.